Hey, welcome back to Apollo City Comics podcast. I guess it still is your anything and everything comic book podcast at this point. We've been gone for a while. Oh, a long while. We've been gone for a year. But not necessarily gone. I've just been busy as shit, dude. Essentially, like this has been like the wildest, craziest like time of the universe. And I can't believe that the show went on pause for one because we've been doing the show since 2018 October, Halloween 2018. Actually, guess what, it's our birthday. Hello. This is why we have a crowded packed house. As always, we always do birthday specials. Typically it's live, but you know what, we're doing a new thing here. But we disappeared for a year. You know why? Because we were making a fuck ton of comics. And I was doing a fuck ton of podcasting on over at Comics Wellspring, doing Inspired Ink and then Spilled Ink and then spotlights, and now we're bringing back the show for the sixth birthday, the sixth anniversary of what is this? Where is it? Apollo City. Actually, all of this of Apollo City Comics. I could just do this. I could just go like this. This is Apollo City Comics as a whole. Everything in this room basically is, and that's insane because a year ago it was just like CyberSync was getting kickstarted. And you know what? What's crazy is that we have this room full of people that were all in CyberSync, and we're essentially bringing back the show in a weird, new, twisted way that I've never done before. You guys have never seen or heard before. And it's going to be with these lovely, amazing, stunning gentlemen, and probably a sprinkle of other Apollo castmates as they come through. But let's start from my angles. Eric, hello, Eric Allred. You make a book called Outer Space with another gentleman named Ben Collins over here. But hello, let's introduce yourself and say hi to whoever decides to watch the show again, because you know it wasn't that crazy in the first place. We got real lucky.
Well, hello. I'm Eric Allred. Do write and Outer Space with the gentleman below me.
That's it.
That's my
That's
intro.
your
I live outside of Austin, Texas, and
you don't got to give your GPS location here. We just I don't know.
Well, I don't know how to introduce myself.
Eric does a lot of really cool videos for Comics Wellspring, and he does like direct and make film cool stuff for Apollo City Comics as well. And he's a new member of Apollo as of this year by random. Probably like one of the freshest members of the team as well, which is astonishing. Fresh. Hi, Ben. Give us a cooler intro than Eric.
Well, I am Ben Collins. I am the co-creator and writer of Outer Space. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
that was a solid sentence, though.
I used to live in Austin. I don't any longer. I live in Northwest Arkansas, outside of Fayetteville, where I went to school and graduated from the University of Arkansas here. And now I have a day job working at a newspaper in the dying world of newspapers. And in my off time, I'm trying to make comics. Outer Space being like primary right now, but we have some other stuff in the works, along with a story in, like you said, CyberSync. But yeah, I mean that's, I think enough about me, right?
That's the Ben. That's why we brought him on.
Got 2 dogs and a cat, and I love them.
Actually, we are all animals lovers here. If you guys don't like animals, you guys could watch another show. If you're watching this, Javi Martinez, the newest, freshest pick out of everyone. And no, he's not 16 years old. He's actually a decade older than that. So we didn't need his parents' permission to bring him on the show tonight.
Yeah, you know, that will always be a great story to tell people, but that'll happen down the line. My name's Javi. I'm based out here in New York City. I make comics. I write, I draw them, I letter them, I color them, do all of them. I design my books. I also have a podcast as well with a buddy of mine, Frankie, called Earth, Mind, and Matter. We trying to get back on schedule with that, but at the moment, we've been doing that for about 3 or 4 years now. And now I'm here with you guys here at Apollo City Comics, and happy to be here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Our cast of people here is like, I don't know. It's just been insane what Apollo's turned into, and we have like a whole crew and like cast of creators. And we get to kind of handpick and do whatever we want at this point, and to expand everything that we're doing. We were just trying to draw attention to stuff like our website, where you could see, maybe Eric, make it flash right here.
Eric, make a flash.
With my hands.
That's
Do
all.
it. Do it.
All of us would be flashing Apollo City Comics. If we all start shirts, can you just put ApolloCityComics.com? Like that's where we want.
If we all wore green shirts, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I'll get a tramp stamp. I'm just saying.
Next week. Pen to ink. We have a
Devotion.
website up. We have a we've been working on so many books, and it's been insane. Right now, you could find everything from the Punk anthology, Cybersync, the Shadow anthology. We have Teenage Babylon, Ashcan up on there. We have Hyperforce. We have Nocturnal Rabbit Guy. We have Outer Space 1. We have Outer Space 2. We have 2 new books that are just getting listed. I hope I didn't forget anything in our catalog that is not listed on there. I feel like I hit it all. In the past year, that's how many books we put out in the past year. It's insane. And right now, you could actually head over there and pre-order today. It's live. It's up. A brand new book by Alex Batts. And we have Bob Little on there. We have Jeremy John Hansen. And it's Campfire Chronicles. And it's the coolest book because Alex wrote these stories. It's a bunch of horror stories kind of spinning off of like the Universal monsters and everything. It's gorgeous. You could buy the pre-order the print edition, or you could get direct digital edition sent right to you right now. Go to the website. Go buy it. And yeah, support our brand new book. We actually are also putting up the broadcast dialogues by also art by Jeremy John Hansen and Bob Little. That's coming soon as well. It'll get printed after the holidays, but you could pre-order it now and make that printing a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster, and so that I could ship it out to you. It's the first story of the broadcast dialogues. Probably the first. I don't know if you guys have a story that's like your first story that is actually like turned into a project now, but that's what the broadcast dialogues is for me. It was like one of my first ideas ever, and now it's becoming to life, and it's super rad and it's super exciting. I can't even believe that we have this much. I don't know, like our catalog is insane because in 5 days we're launching a new Kickstarter with the remainders, John O'Burke and Kieran Quinn. Head over to the link in the bio. I'm sure there's a link down here. Flash the link, Eric. And head over and get the support the Kickstarter for our new book, The Remainders. It is honestly the most beautiful book in our catalog. No offense to any of our artists. That's not saying anything bad about anyone. It is like nobody has ever made garbage look so beautiful. And you'll know why I said that if you go check out our Kickstarter for The Remainders, support these guys. I can't wait to see this book in print. Kieran Quinn, we actually have Spilled Ink with Kieran Quinn and Jeremy John Hansen on Thursday night. Boom! Awesome promotion with knowing
cool.
schedules. Yeah. So you can check us out there. We'll talk about The Remainders as well over on the Comics Wellspring YouTube channel Thursday night. And yeah, I believe, dude, I think that's all of the there's a lot of Apollo updates. There's a lot. Am I missing anything? Why don't we give an outer space update? Boys, how is the status?
Yeah.
Because we had a Kickstarter in April.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, speaking of, well, just on what you said about, like, you have a first, that is like our first story, like, that we had this idea years and years ago, and like seeing it come to life is crazy. But yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, well, we have printed the new Apollo-fied version of issue 1. So that is ready, and issue 2 is being sent to the wonderful comic book makers.
We're going. That's the update. It's done, lettered, and going to print this week, probably ish.
Nice,
Right, Eric?
And we have that awesome variant cover by Max Flowers. Flash the variant cover.
I
Right
love
now,
that,
You don't
man.
flash it. You probably just
No,
put it.
just do it like
Yeah, geez,
Like-
yeah. You get it there. But Max Flowers did the variant cover, and it's the coolest variant ever, dude. We get so many. It's insane. Our variants are really worth it because they're beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks
Oh,
amazing.
is that it?
Like,
yeah, that's the original.
I didn't know this.
yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Oh man, yeah,
That's sick.
I love that.
Wow, that's beautiful.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I don't have the covers to any of my books yet. I have cool art.
I mean, we figured we were just gonna want that.
Indeed.
But
it is gorgeous.
we're almost
You
done writing issue 3, and then that'll be like a solid arc of our comic, and we'll be able to put that into a collection.
Love
You
it.
guys should have like co-ownership of that print right there.
Ship it off every 6 months.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Every 6 months it goes to Arkansas.
I told him it was like Radioactive Man #1 in that Simpsons episode. It's like between Milhouse and Bart.
There's gonna be like a special event, and you have to like overnight it real fast to Ben and be like, "I'm sorry, we have a party. We gotta have it up." And everything.
There's like a
I'd
ketchup
like it in
stain.
my Apollo City Comics podcast background this week, so please ship it.
Yeah. Honestly, trade it on and off on the show. That'd be great. Yeah, we should
Seems
have.
like very expensive.
We got to get everyone banners. That's the big goal for this year because banners are freaking awesome, man. Super dope.
Yeah, we got one
I should have put
as
it
well, and it's not up obviously, but flash it, Eric.
Yeah. Yeah. Put the instructional video for it. Just so I have it.
But it looks we use like the yellow from the book, but it's like the issue 2 image, so it's pretty cool.
It's so
that's
modern.
definitely the next step for me. I want to get myself a banner for sure, and like just design myself like a sick banner. That's the next step for me for sure.
Yeah, and you can get it from
There.
Comics Wellspring. Bam, plugging my
Yeah.
thing. I don't know why I actually have the bottom part. I didn't want it to say Comics Wellspring and Policy Comics, but hey, you know I'm that guy, so that's how it works. But anywho's, we have a new segment called Cosmic Book News.
Insert effect.
But the headline chosen this week was by our good friend Ben Collins.
Oh yeah, okay, you want me to talk? Oh, I just thought like probably one of the bigger news stories is Vertigo coming back as far as like comic book news.
Yeah.
And we knowing like Brandon and Eric, like Vertigo fans, the original Vertigo stuff was like hugely impactful on me comic book wise. So I'm not sure it's gonna have that same effect or anything like that. I just thought it's interesting to see what's coming back. And it looks like what was it? A Nice House by the Sea is going to be published as a Vertigo book moving forward, which I haven't been reading, but is probably good because I read Nice House by the Lake, which is like fucking really good.
Yeah.
I've heard. I gotta check it
Okay.
out. I need to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
So
who does the art to Nice House? I'm forgetting.
Is it the Something That's Killing the Children artist? No.
No, I don't think it is. I think his name is like Alvaro, something like that. Like
Oh, okay, yeah.
like something bueno, but
Yeah,
yes,
you got it.
he's his art is incredible, and that was like my first introduction to his stuff. And so I was like, I think the fact that their book is going to be their flagship title is like I think a good start, honestly. Like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
And I think anything Sandman is that in the Sandman universe will be Vertigo now.
Nice.
Which I didn't realize there's a Preacher series that's been like ongoing for like 5 years. I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
Lucifer.
Or sorry, not Preacher.
Oh.
Excuse me, Lucifer.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
Lucifer.
the Lucifer series has been ongoing for like 5 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, Garth Ennis has been writing in secret.
I still need to finish the original Sandman series. I'm on like volume 8 of 10 right now, so I'm almost there. But that's so good, and I want to read all the later stuff that they printed through Black Label and catch up with Vertigo.
I was gonna
too,
say it's
so-
funny because they just reprinted all the fucking Sandman collections as Black Label.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna go back and reprint that shit as Vertigo again.
Thank God,
They might honestly like. I think my
I think it
collection
has
still
one
has
of them.
Vertigo on them. Yeah, it does. Mine is still Vertigo.
I think even with everything going on, I don't think they'll ever stop publishing Neil's books. With all that stuff. Yeah.
Was there anything else
mean,
on there?
I guess.
Oh, the Hellblazer that's been going on.
Yeah.
Oh, from Simon Spurrier.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I didn't know that was ongoing. I thought that was like a limited.
Oh,
issue series.
they came
Well, it got-
back.
It got canceled and they brought it back.
Oh shit.
Which I have the original and I really loved it, but I haven't read the new series.
Yeah, I haven't read the new series yet either, but that first run was just phenomenal. I was like, this
Yeah,
is
it's
incredible.
See, Eric.
I gotta check that
Eric.
I've read the second.
He didn't question it. He didn't question it. He just I like that's what I
he's
bring
been
it
telling
up
me this for
every once in a
years.
while.
So
Yeah. But that was yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think, like I said, I think Nice House was a great start for bringing Vertigo back, and it seems Jim Lee's pretty hands on with like how they're pushing things forward with Vertigo this time around. So hopefully it goes well. Hopefully they bring some good shit in.
They're smart. They'll bring in outer space.
Yeah.
tossing that out there.
Just suggestive.
But I agree. I think that's a good move, and curious to see what other titles, like original titles, come moving forward, because they said they're gonna do Black Label stuff still.
Oh,
right?
are they?
Like other. I think they're gonna like stuff that was already in production. Certain things with superheroes.
Okay. Gotcha.
They said was going. They're still gonna print as Black Label.
I wonder if it was just like as a response to Distillery doing fairly well, like just having like another arm that's like more creator.
Is that you? Are you basing that it is actually doing well, or are you like?
I'm pretty sure that those books. I mean, those books have been doing.
Yeah,
well.
I think I actually saw a headline that said that they've become one of the most like top distributors at the moment right now. So they've been doing really well. It seems. I don't have any either. Actually, I have Gone by Jock, but I haven't read it yet. But I have that one.
I was curious about that. I really like Jock's when they're like fully in creative control. It's like it's cool stuff.
Yeah,
I haven't read anything from any of those. I'm so behind on all the new imprints and stuff like that. Like,
well, it's hard
was
to
like towards them too. Honestly, when they came out, so I was
like, even though you get like a nice size and like a pretty thick book, like to dedicate $9 a month to a book, or every 2 months, or whatever the schedule is.
Yeah. I mean, I think the last thing I'll say is like my favorite thing that came out of Black Label and that was happening was the other side of the DC universe, or the other history of the DC universe by John Ridley. Those
that was things, like not quite a comic book, right? Like
but that was like, I think that was my first introduction to his comic writing, and I was like, this guy is so good at writing. Like, makes sense. He wrote 12 Years a Slave, and I'm just like, it's such a good read.
That's
right. They're also all like gorgeous as well.
Yeah. What happened, Brandon?
I gotta look into that too. I don't recall that book as well.
Oh yeah, it's like 3 issues. Like it's basically, since John Ridley's Black, he likes to put a real racial lens on his stories and stuff. And so it's
5
just
issues.
about
Holy shit.
Oh, 5 issues, damn. But yeah, it's just looking at different Black superheroes in the DC universe.
I remember those coming out. Yeah, I heard they were really good actually. Yeah.
These were really good.
I forgot that was the title of that book. That's interesting. Yeah, I've heard a lot of cool stuff for that.
Yeah, that's
cool.
I love the questions.
Yeah,
stuff.
the question was so good. Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, some of those creators I kind of got spiteful with, like Ghost Machine and stuff like that. I guess the more I got involved with like indie, that's where like I started seeing where some of these bigger creators weren't doing too much for like just bringing on like new blood and whatnot overall. And that's where
it does seem that way. I felt that way too. Like that everyone was just sort of like
it's like
to the rest of the indie
guys
world.
that are running the industry are just going to run the next like aspect of the industry, and it's not like that.
Like Jeff Johns comes from DC, so he's running it like DC.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
I will say, like, to kind of go against the grain on that, is just like when they did announce Ghost Machine and all that stuff, I think that happened last year, but I was at New York Comic Con last year and I got to go to one of their panels, and I forget which one of them said it, but they were kind of saying that like they did start off with this roster of people because it helps newer creators that they want to bring on board later down the line, because they have that leeway to kind of kick the door open for them almost. And so
that's nice to hear.
Yeah, they were saying that in the panel of like, we know a lot of you guys want to be up here with us, and whatever the case is, maybe that'll happen and this and that. And like when I spoke to Jeff Johns and Gary Frank that same weekend, and like they were really excited to hear about me working on stuff and this and that, whatever the case is. And like, when we were on Spilled Ink together with Jeff Monk, like he did that cover for Geiger. And so it's like, it's cool that it kind of seems like maybe they are like doing that, like reaching out to pull in new creators because they have that leeway. But I mean, nonetheless, it is like on the surface, it looks like, okay, guys, we get it.
It's the cool kids table.
I mean,
it felt more that way, like with Distillery a little bit to me. Like it felt like kind of weird at first.
Yeah, I definitely feel that more towards Distillery more than these guys Ghost Machine. So
I can see that too.
I think I'm reading Rook.
Yeah,
how is it though?
That's given more.
It's pretty cool. I mean, the art is awesome. Jason Fabok, or however you say his name.
Fabok, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like even then, like
great art.
Like creators like that, like not really helping like the indie industry. That's where I guess I just started paying so much attention to that in some of these big creators. And speaking of big creators, of what that does, we have a new little moment where we could kind of like complain about things for a second like this, because you know what breaks my pencil tips? And then you should do a pencil and it stabs down. It's like and it's like not even like a call out. I just feel like, there's that whole thing with Capullo's post, how he called out FCO for like leaving the book. And it felt unprofessional. Like, and then you have the wannabe comic book creators aspects when it's like, dude, like, I don't know. I get how like that's like the industry, and I understand how that's a part of the industry and what goes along with it. But like, I mean, help change it. Like, help do something about it. You know what I mean? Like, the people, you're involved with the projects, you're involved with the industries. Like, I don't see what is Ghost Machine doing to change stuff like that. What is Distillery doing stuff to change, aspects like that? Like, if that's how the industry is, like, who are the people besides indie comics giving ourselves our own businesses and like publishing houses and running things how we want? Like, who in like the top are actually helping change that mindset that like Greg was speaking about it? Because to me it seems toxic, and it's a weird way using that word in our like generational standards and names and stuff like that, bullshit. And it's like, it's not even to name that. It's like, why are we living like that? Why are we like torturing ourselves over these things instead of like enjoying it to its fullest? I don't know your guys' thoughts about that, but that's my little rant about.
I mean, I was gonna say, because Brandon, you sent me that meme about the Will Ferrell thing from Anchorman, where he was like like Gen X talking to like Gen Z like people when they come into new jobs and stuff, and it really is a lot like that. It's just kind of like, it's such an old school way of thinking, and it's like, even if you look at other industries like gaming and whatever, like video game companies crunch all the time, and video game CEOs will constantly claim that crunch is necessary to make a good product. And it's like, I go so back and forth with that, because it's like, yes, sometimes you make some of the best stuff when you are crunching yourself, but then at the same time, it's like, why kill yourself to make art?
Yeah.
So,
and why not allow yourself to live a life as well outside of that? Because I mean, that's how we refill our cups, right? Like you live life, and then you get creative juices poured back into your cup. So I think, what's it called? Like the so-called hustle culture is dead. I don't know. I feel like.
Yeah, I definitely like, being on the younger side, I definitely see a lot of people that are always like talking about like, on my grind, on my hustle, this and that, whatever the case is. I'm just like, that's cool. I'm gonna be over here drawing. And it's just, I've never really understood that like mentality. And so it's like, when I saw that Capullo post, I was really just like, that sucks. Like I've met the guy so many times now. I've spoken to him dozens of times now. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go talk to him next time I go to Comic-Con. I'm like, just feel a little salty about it.
Yeah, because also like everything was just like deleted too immediately. Like, he was even saying like, not a flex, just facts and stuff like that. And it's like, I get that. I don't know. It doesn't seem right, especially when you're an influential artist and a bunch of upcoming indie creators, upcoming creators look up to you, like just fans look up to you, and then basically saying like if you're not willing to sacrifice everything in your life, you're not going to be able to do like this, and that can stop someone from even trying to do indie comics, and that's the whole point, is that you are shutting someone down before they could even really attempt or try, you're shutting people down and discouraging them, and making art, sharing art, creating art, that's so hard to do. It's so
Yeah,
dude, doing spilled ink is so hard because I fucking hate like how I draw sometimes, and like it's I'm so new to it, like that's terrifying. And like if I think about like drawing a comic, I haven't drawn a comic yet because it's like super intimidating to me.
Yeah.
Just approaching that like on my own, pen to paper, and to like just hear that, you're just like, oh well, like why even bother? You know what I mean? Like that's the type
It's
of
such a
satisfied
broad
art.
way of thinking, like broad stroke to use to paint in that situation, because like everything is like in life, especially when you're talking about sacrificing everything, you're talking about like people have to pay mortgages and shit. Like that's real life. Like not everyone has the opportunity to be like, I can just give up everything and start doing like, if you work hard for a few years and put some money aside, you can do that. But like not everyone's in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Near
to
impossible.
just
for
to
most
just
people.
like make that assumption is just really like what a lot of people are just doing what we're doing, like working and just trying to do it on the side.
Yeah.
Because we want to.
Yeah, and I had heard a similar remark 1 year at Comic-Con where someone, I forget which creator had said this, but they were just kind of saying like, to be in this business, you kind of do need to make sacrifices at the end of the day, like if you want to make it full time, and like, but they said it more in a positive way or whatever, where they were just kind of saying like, sometimes you kind of need to drop like a certain hobby or the case is, like whether it be like video games or whatever the case is, or this and that. Like, after seeing that, I actually slowed down a lot on like playing guitar, just because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna focus more on my comics and put more time into that. So it's like it's it goes both ways, and it's like, yeah, you kind of need to push yourself, but don't push yourself, like don't crunch yourself, like give yourself some room to breathe.
Yeah, honestly, like all of us make sacrifices. Like we're doing this podcast right now. That's a sacrifice to everyone like around us, to like our time, to like our energy, to our creative energy, even, to even like make the show, to like, to guess what, to help promote our comics. Because like, especially nowadays, it's so hard to be just I just wanted to put out a fucking comic. And now I'm running a publishing imprint, and you
I just
guys,
want to make
I'm
comics.
running
Put
all
out more
your
comics.
books. Like I just, you know what I mean? Like it blows up. Like it's never just a solid thing anymore, And that's when I listen to advice from creators from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. It's like stuff has changed so much in society on day-to-day life. And these aren't even excuses. It's just what things cost, what it costs to survive now, what it costs to get by, to like do anything. Like it's totally different. Nobody could really just be like, oh, I'm just going to be a writer and I'm only going to write and I'm going to do this and just I'm not going to like do public stuff. I'm not going to do social
with
media.
no established name.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't just do that anymore. You have to like broadcast yourself and like become like just out there. You have to take the extra steps. Eric makes short films for you guys. Make short films for outer space. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Javi, like you're doing all sorts of like different crafts and projects and anthologies and different stuff. Like, plus you have a day job. All of us have day jobs, and we wouldn't be.
I
Able
learned to letter so I could letter the book for free.
So it's like just hearing that discouragement, it just breaks my pencil tips.
Yeah,
breaks my. That's where you
fade out.
But speaking of like,
please
craft,
stop directing me.
There's just like we check the private chat and put that on screen, and it's just like Eric talking. Do that one more time. But yeah, we all make comics, which is great. And the fun part about making comics is like kind of sharing like different stuff. And right now, this whole year has been insane. So I'm trying to get back into the groove of writing and figuring stuff out, and propelling my personal projects with the insanity of Comics Wellspring and these podcasts and all that type of stuff, and like editorial things. But like I'm really curious to like first hear about like you guys and how you get back in the groove, and like what are some of your writing practices, because all of us have very different writing practices from one another. So I think there's like a good variety in that aspect in general. Javi, tell me about yours, because you're actually you're starting a new book right now. You're
Yeah.
like in the beginning process of it. What do
Yeah.
you
I mean, I'll just throw up some little sketches, but like, since I write and draw my stories, the way I go about it a lot of the times is that I will write as I draw. But actually, more than anything, I will draw first and then write the script. So I'll like put out the thumbnail sketches, kind of have like the dialogue in my head, and just kind of space out the speech bubbles and things like that. And just from there, I just start writing the script.
Be an artist.
And once I like start working like more deeply and start drawing it and lettering it, that's when I start making more tweaks and edits to like the script and things like that. Like the story that I'm working on right now, pages 4 and 5 will be a big spread, and the script for that just kind of says like it's Star Wars-esque, like just big like poster type of thing. And it'll be like I really planned it out where it's like I numbered like the speech bubbles or the captions, and I have a rocket ship that'll kind of guide the reader throughout the page to make sure that it's like easy to follow along. And I try to visualize it as much as possible whenever I'm writing. But yeah, that's kind of how I've been going about it. And this has been a little new for me because when I first started making comics, I would first write them in novelizations and then adapt them to comic scripts. It was easier for me to just kind of write it out in like prose and just take it from there. But I've been pushing myself more to just start from scratch with a comic script and just start from there. But that's kind of what I've been doing.
That's sick. I'm even trying to like figure out like, I mean, right now I have different various stages of writing projects. Like I'm doing edits on Teenage Babylon #2. I'm actually adding in scenes and like expanding moments because I met with Christian, my artist, and like he's great at giving like awesome feedback because he's always wanting to grow the story more. So we're just gonna actually make it a bigger issue than we kind of planned. So I'm actually gonna be like pumping that issue up, but it's also intimidating because I finished the script in my head. And now I'm having to like go back. I fucking hate revisions, dude. And like having to circle back on my own and just like be like, all right, what do I need to do to fuel it? But so I'm working on that as I start planning out issue 3, because there's like a scene that's gonna tie in to like either leading into issue 3 or in the midst of issue 2 that's gonna have an effect later on. But that scene is actually done by Tanner Ogle, which is going to be in our horror anthology that we're launching in February. There's another link right here. Horror anthology link. All right, cool, sweet. Perfect. Taking note. So yeah, check that out.
Well played.
That's going to be a cool. It's such a fun story that we did. It's going to be an insane book. It's honestly like I say this all the time, but it's like going to be the coolest anthology we've ever done. It's like it's packed. It's full of awesome horror stuff. It's been so much fun working with Jay Louder, this guy over here, with him on that book. So that's fun. But I'm also like China Rosemaria and I are doing a book called Fake Your Death. So what she did is that I gave her just like plot outlines, and so my cat spilled coffee all over these, and I wasn't going to reprint them. But this I just have to like now write the story. So I have all the art.
You're doing the Stanley. You're going like go back and fill in fucking Kirby's artwork.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. So we've been working like that. So Fake Your Death is really interesting because the first script I gave her a full script. There's 4 like little mini stories that we have going on, and it's the first script I gave her a full script because that's how we were starting. It's how we established our relationship. The second one I just gave her page by page like scenarios. I feel like every scene's a new page almost, so it's a writing exercise at the same time. And then the third one she just drew herself. I just gave her a plot for the issue or the story, and then she just drew it all herself, determined pages, size, all that type of stuff. And I'm gonna write over that. I have a general idea because I did the plot. But then the fourth script I did I think more of a full script as well. Oh, so it's been very we really like experimenting and testing and pushing each other, and our chemistry is so great. I really adore everything China does. It's just phenomenal an artist. So I'm so hyped to like be doing that. But I think, and also, I mean, I guess this will bridge into you guys' too, but I'm writing down recipes now for Thanksgiving for a upcoming comic book vegan cookbook that we're working on with Eric and some other buddies. So yeah, what are you guys working on? And tell me about your processes. Like how do you guys formulate your stuff? Like how's that going?
Well, I feel like I wish we were artists or we'd thumbnail everything out. But we do, since we're just
I
Do
do
you guys
have
not
thumbnails
thumbnail?
sometimes.
Yeah,
I do
shitty
sometimes.
thumbnails sometimes, like just shitty thumbnails.
Yeah, but usually when we start out from a new project or whatever, we're starting with like sort of the same idea of writing with prose, either just writing down like a basic plot outline or a summary of A to Z, and then we kind of skeleton it throughout after we break it into like bits, I guess. So like, what's the important things that happen on page 1, and then we start kind of move through the issue that way.
We have been sort of reverse engineering it lately, where we would do it that like, the big chunk, and then like, oh, well, this page is going to be this, and then we'll turn back around and be like, okay, now let's work on the page. Yeah. And then you come back and do rewrites again, and like rewriting, that's the writing process.
It's like ironing.
It's like we're like chiseling,
like ironing a shirt. You keep on going back over it and making it nice.
Because often it's like
wearing a wrinkled shirt.
We look at it like, what do we need? Do we need this? Like, I like it, but do we need it in the story? Is it moving the story? What is it actually doing that this part's not doing right here? Like, and we'll have to like, sometimes we'll cut like an entire scene or like an entire chunk or like just varying dialogue here and there, just trying to make it as concise as possible. And
then we also
and interesting, obviously, because we like to write. Like that's part of our thing. Like comedy, like it's sort of like having dialogue is just like sort of a prerequisite, like at times in a comic book, like because it's not necessarily a moving picture. So you have to use dialogue to your advantage as well. So we got to keep, stuff in there.
I write so little. It's so weird. I suck. I don't know. Like I'm so like like whenever I read your guys' scripts and I look at what you guys do, I'm just like, I don't do any of that. Cause like even when I do my scripts, like I'm more I think I play it over and over in my head, and I do it by scenes typically. You know what I mean? Like it's rare that I write more than like one scene in a sitting. But I'll kind of be so focused and like I guess meditative almost on that scene and what's happening that like I start mapping it out, and it's like pieces just falling into place, and it's super, super rare that I have to go back and like change anything at that point. And I think that's why I'm having such a hard time going back to the script, because like I kind of work on like I mean, Alex checks out because he edits all of my work, you know what I mean? And there's always like one or two things you got to adjust. But I almost feel like I'm not doing my best because I'm not doing what you guys are doing.
I mean, but if you have the time to like actually step away from it for like a decent, however, a couple weeks, a month, even a couple months, if you could, like that's like the best way to go back to it.
With Teenage Babylon #2, I wrote it like in May, and I came back and I was like, oh, I got to like revisit it because Christian wants to check it out. And Alex had barely even gotten to editing it, and I read it and I was like, this is fucking dope.
Well, then sometimes you step up to the plate and you just fucking hit it out of the park.
Maybe it's one of those things. But then again, with like Fake Your Death, I've had these pages in front of me for a while, and I'm just intimidated the hell out of it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I need to get going on that too.
I mean, something that like I try to not stress myself too much on is that like there's no right answer to a comic script. Like everyone writes their scripts differently. Like if you look at people like Alan Moore, where like the first panel of Watchmen is like 3 pages long, and then like Neil Gaiman, who like writes a lot of his scripts like more prose style and whatever the case is, like everyone does it differently, and that's why I don't try and stress myself out too much about it. Like I just do what works for me, and I do a little more like detailed full scripts for sure, where I break it panel by panel, but that's also just because since I'm also doing the drawing, it makes it easier for me once I do the lettering to be like, okay, this goes here, that goes there, and whatever the case is. So it keeps me more organized. But yeah, I mean, you guys were mentioning about how Outer Space was like the first story you guys made. The thumbnail sketches that I was showing was one of the first stories that I made, and it's like I'm just so glad to finally be working on it now. And it's like, I don't know how much you guys could attest to this, but it's like I've been just slowly over the years building like one of those story Bibles, and it's like
cool.
just
we do
like
have a document like that.
yeah. So it's like I just have I've been building one of those ever since I've been writing the story over like the last 8 years or something, and it's just like I just have all these little. I also really love 3-act structure, so I really try to abide by that when I write my stories. And like something I try to think about a lot is something that Tom King said, where he said that the most difficult thing about writing comics is, especially arcs and continuing series, is that every issue needs to have a 3-act structure that fits into a bigger 3-act structure. And it's like I think about that a lot, and I just try to find my way of like finding a good opening and a good ending to every issue. And so that I just play it by ear for the most part and just see what feels right.
I mean, I think we do the same thing just because Eric especially has a film background and like screenplays. Like 3-act structure is just part of the deal. So like and that's sort of how we write our scripts, is very like related to it kind of looks like a screenplay. It's not, but it's sort of like our own format at this point. Like you said, do whatever works for you. But we do end up writing an actual script in the end. Like that, we do end up actually reverse engineering a script.
Nice.
Sometimes we'll like have a line or like something. Sometimes we'll build something like from an element that we know is important to the story. Everyone, and with that, sometimes.
And you can just build out from
like
there.
That one, like, from like that nugget, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whether it is just like a moment of like the main conflict that you've been sort of building to, or even just something as small as like an answer to like a question that was posed in a previous issue or something like that. You can sort of build off of that. But yeah, we also have like sending this also through another lens too with Jackie, whenever it comes back to us, like that script itself can change as well, because she sees something, an action being more effective through 2 panels than 3. She comes back with us with like less panels. It's like, okay, well, that's more concise. That's what we want to do as far as rewriting. So
flash Jackie Venturini Instagram.
I mean, that's just like Christian, like that's like that was so cool. Like sitting down and talking about issue 2 was like he just had so much insight, and like he really wanted to build out the characters more. Like he wanted to add in like certain moments to kind of like elevate more of that act structure and everything as well, just to like keep the audience going. And he's like, if we have to like expand, then we expand, and we just push through with that. And that's always fun having those collaborative like creators with you and stuff like that. Just
you digitized a little bit, by the way.
Oh,
I don't know if that was everybody else.
Oh, we could hear it though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Just kind of sounded like Terminator sometimes.
Bootleg Terminator though.
But that's a perfect
Not the kind I'd be afraid of.
I actually watched. Actually, speaking of watch list, let's move on to who watches the.
Oh, we're not doing. We forgot to do the timer, didn't we?
No, yeah,
no, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Okay, I guess we're on. Who watches the watch list? I mean, honestly, like I was watching all the Terminator movies up to recent. I love that title, dude. But I don't know. I keep a letterbox, and letterbox is dope because it lets me watch everything.
I guess I have to get one.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess
you just have to. You just have to.
But it's
gonna
like
take me forever to update. I have so many fucking movies.
I just update as I watch stuff now. Like I didn't like add it.
Oh, that'll give me up. Like, what a journey to go through watching every DVD I own.
No.
Dude,
I might lose my mind. Come across El Topo at one point, and like, holy shit, what is this?
That's how my comics are, dude. I don't know if I could ever read everything I own. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
But what are you guys watching
Terminator?
at the moment? I was watching the Terminator movies. Actually, Salvation sucked.
Like the whole. Okay, so you were going through the whole thing.
Yeah, and then Genesis was actually not horrific.
So what would you say is like your top 3?
So I haven't seen the third one yet for some reason. I just can't find it to
Okay.
stream anywhere.
It's
but,
not great. I mean,
right. I also haven't seen Dark Fate. So
How will you ever know that the machines rise?
I couldn't even. I feel like that's the whole movie too. Like you just summed it
I
up.
go back and forth on 1 and 2. Like some days I'm like, I like 1
Yeah.
better just because it's
I
like
mean-
that. Like I respect how like that film was made, and like so on such a budget.
Is
and,
that like,
like,
a stance on like Alien and Aliens? You know what I mean? Just like go
Yeah,
back and
no,
forth?
I'm a hard Alien 1, Alien,
Mm.
hard.
Same. Alien 1.
I'll die on that hill.
Was Terminator Genesis that most recent one by Tim Miller? Was it that one?
Maybe
Because
That wasn't the most recent. Was that? I thought Dark Fate was the most recent one.
yeah, that was the most recent
Oh,
one. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. This was like
So-
2015. This had Homegirl in it.
The one with Christian Bale was like
That was
Emilia
not
Clarke.
good. Emilia Clarke. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I saw the one directed by Tim Miller, which I thought was pretty solid. I was like, this is
I'll
pretty...
watch it next.
If that's Dark Fate, is that what he's talking about,
Yeah.
Eric? Is that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
'Cause,
That one's
I
actually
thought so. I didn't hate that one. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of like the thing they do with like the John Connor story at the very beginning, but whatever. It sets up
Mhm.
what you got to do.
Yeah, like I thought it was fine. Like I didn't, like you said, I didn't hate it. I was like, this is fine. But like,
The
Terminator 1 and
performances
2,
were good.
Yeah,
I thought the woman was pretty badass.
yeah. She
Hence
was a
the
great
racist.
lead, I thought. Yeah, I mean, the only movie I seen as of recent in the last month was that I went to go see the Saturday Night Live movie. Saturday
how was
Night.
it?
Oh
It
shit!
was really
I want
good.
to see that.
Yeah, I
It
wanna
was
watch
really
Cool.
fucking
Yeah.
good.
I am into that.
Yeah, I was like, I did not know what to expect from it, and like immediately I was just like, this is like off the first 5 minutes, like off the first scene, honestly, because the first scene is a one shot, and I'm a sucker for one shots. So immediately I was like, yes, more of this. Let's go. We got this.
Amazing.
So it was
like
really
Robert
good.
Altman.
That'd do that to me too. Like if you do like a one shot at the beginning and it like hits right, like
Yeah.
I'm fucking in,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Boogie
no,
Nights?
it was solid. Boogie Nights, yes.
Boogie Nights.
Opening. Hell yeah.
I mean,
Right.
he's just a master. So
PTA.
And,
And we've been watching the
PTA.
Batman animated movies lately that are on Tubi.
nice.
okay.
Which one are your guys'
I-
favorite Batman animated movies? Like, what's your top 2?
Well, Dark Knight Returns.
Ooh.
It was like,
I
amazing. I really like that
Yeah.
one.
I think if I can pick 2, I'll say Dark Knight Returns and Mask of the Phantasm. Those are my favorite.
That's
Oh
a
yeah.
good one.
Well, actually,
That's
to go
good.
just to go a different direction, can I
Uh,
pick the Batman Beyond movie?
Dude,
Return of the Joker.
all 3 of those are my top 3. Like, that's it. Like, and they just kind of shuffle in order depending on my mood. You know, what
And
I
I
mean?
do love Mask of the Phantasm quite a bit as
Yeah.
well.
That's literally like mirrored my life. I swear to God.
But Return of the Joker is also like excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just watched that one, and dude, it was the ending where like Joker gets shot instead of electrocuted. You guys know there's 2 endings, or like,
Oh yeah, because there's
I
a
don't think I
weird
knew
story
that.
behind that.
yeah, it was too graphic.
wow.
Like the VHS
Yeah.
had like where Joker like got shot, and then he like tripped and slipped, and then like
he just
like,
slips into an electrical thing.
yeah, and he like gets electrocuted, and then
Whoa!
What a
the other one-
clown.
what's the other one?
Yeah.
The other one he just gets shot, I think, but it doesn't show.
Yeah,
it.
with it's like an arrow,
oh, it's like a
it's like a
Joker
fake-
gun thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes
but
hard,
it
yeah.
actually impales him.
Yeah.
It's like a fake Joker thing, but it still actually hits him. It's like
It's what killed
Hoisted by my own petard.
Tim Drake as a child does this, by the
Yeah.
way.
yeah, tormented, like mind controlled and mind fucked Tim Drake, like just
Yeah, but I generally like most of the animated Batman stuff.
yeah.
that I've
Yeah.
watched.
I just haven't seen the Ninja one and the second Batman
Interesting.
66 one.
I haven't seen.
the
I want
Catwoman.
to wait. When you say the ninja one, are you talking about the anime one or
Yeah,
the
Batman
okay?
Ninja.
Batman Ninja.
Yeah, because because I haven't seen the Batman Ninja Turtles one, and I want to see that
Oh,
one.
me either. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I love that one, man. That one's good.
Yeah,
I like that comic a lot. Also,
yeah, those comics are so much fun. Like, so
Yeah.
I really want to
they
watch
take
that
some
movie.
stuff, a few things directly out of it.
Hell
It's
yeah.
pretty fun. Yeah.
I have
like
the
that
book.
one.
I've never read it either. Actually, I'm not a Turtles fan.
Ooh, I'm a big Turtles guy, but
Just
I was born in 1987, so
I don't know if living in New York gave me bias, but I love the Turtles.
so,
fucking love 'em.
so many people do. I don't know. When I got to meet Kevin Eastman, I asked for a Batman sketch, and I got
He's
it.
probably like, all right.
Yeah,
he's probably jazzed about that.
But let's move over to our next one, our indie pick of the week, and we have Javi Martinez here with our indie pick. Of the week. Bam, set list.
The Setlist Anthology. This is volume 1 of 2. It's a 2-book little anthology. The first book is all color. The second book is in black and white. And it has a ton of creators. Each of them have over 100 pages of different creators all throughout Apollo, lesser known comics, and just other nooks and crannies around the world. And it like Jackie has a story in here. Evan has a story.
Is that
What's
the
up?
color one? Is that the color?
This is the colored one, yeah.
Oh, I have a story in there.
Yeah, you have a story in there. Evan has a story in there. I
Jeremy
think
John
China has a story in there.
China has it in the black and white one. And then who Max Flowers, Jeremy.
Yeah, Max has one in there.
Ogle Allred.
Oh, we lost you for
Oh,
a second.
you're
No,
Uh-oh.
is it back?
Are you back? You're back.
Yeah.
Oh, Tanner Ogle colored that one actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
it's
one of my
a-
coolest fucking stories I've ever written. Also, Jeremy asked to like do a story, and I was like, I don't have time to write anything. I don't have any ideas, dude, but I'd be down. And I was like, what if you just map it out and I'll just write over it? And he penciled everything and inked everything, and then he sent it to me. I wrote over it. And then while Tanner was coloring it, Max was figuring out lettering bubbles, and I had to like rewrite some stuff so it could fit properly, like with the like lettering in general. And dude, that's one of the coolest stories I've ever written. Like,
hell yeah.
we should, if we had a digital copy, we'd show it here. Just
Yeah, no, my story in here is the second to last story. So it's like I kind of like alley-oop it to Nicholas. And I co-wrote that story with my buddy Josh, who had been wanting to make a comic with me for a long time. And our story is kind of a silent issue type of thing. There's only one line of dialogue in it, and it's just I really push myself to just on the art aspect of it to just tell a cohesive story of just the art alone. But I'm super proud of this, and yeah, I was super glad to work with Nicholas on this. He's been super great to me, and like I
did the punk anthology cover right here.
Yeah,
and my first comic story ever was with Nicholas. Like that's where Teenage Babylon began, like in the punk anthology with his art.
I remember when we first met, you were showing me the art to Teenage Babylon by Nicholas, and I was like, "Yo, this looks sick."
Yeah, fucking wild full circle there. But yeah, fucking such a cool book. If you can still pick it up, I think you can still buy it on the website. It was a very exclusive release as well.
Yeah,
it seemed like,
and, you know, if there's anyone in New York, I also got copies too.
Oh, rad, cool, hell yeah! I might have to bum a coffee. But comic jams, real fast. Eric, what's your band of the week?
I'm gonna go with A Mill and the Sniffers. They came out with their album last Friday, Cartoon Darkness. It's just like a pretty raucous femme punk from Australia, and I would say everybody should listen to them because they're gonna be fucking huge.
Hell yeah, Ben, do you have a pick of the week?
I guess since I can't go with the Meal and Sniffers because that's what I've been jamming also. Although I have also one track has been released off the 20th anniversary of MF Doom's Food. The song One Beer, Mad Lib did a remix. It's really good, but I'm looking forward to that. So always MF Doom, always a good jam. Any version, Victor Vaughn, etc., etc.
Oh yeah.
Javi, what's your jam of the week?
One of my favorite bands, Prince Daddy and the Hyena, is prepping up our new album, and they just released 2 new tracks called God Complex and La Da Da. and those are the 2 tracks I've been ripping the last week.
Oh, rad. And I've
Yeah,
just
just
been
looking it up
listening
right
to the
now.
same like
Yes, I
4
am.
bands. I just if you watch any of my stories, you know what I'm listening to. The LS Dunes put out 2 new songs recently. I've just been listening to that and just old emo shit. So I mean, like
Mhm.
hype for Warped Tour, so I'm like in that nostalgic like wanting
Right.
to see what happens. You know,
Yeah, we were just
Um,
talking about that.
so hyped, so hyped. But yeah, awesome picks. But also not only do we have movie recommendations, watching recommendations, and music recommendations, we have a reading pile. Do you guys have a reading pile that you're just digging into right now? I don't know if we've ever talked about our current reads in general with each other. But Javi, you're nodding quite well.
Yeah, no, I've been rereading Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi because
Nice.
I picked
Oh.
up the other 2 books of that trilogy, and so I'm rereading the first book to just pick up on what I forgot, and just gonna dive right into the second book. The second book, I forget who wrote it. I think her name was like Claudia something. Just can't remember her name exactly, but I've been really liking this High Republic stuff from Star Wars recently. It's been really dope.
Interesting.
And
gotta check out
Charles
the
Soule's like
comics.
quintessential Star Wars writer, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm not into the Star Wars comic universe. It's very vast, but yeah.
I was a
I've
Dark
heard
Horse
that.
fan of Star Wars comics. Like that's where my shit was. Like,
Hell
I love
yeah.
those. Yeah, those were my. I try to keep on getting into these new ones with Marvel, and I just can't.
I had like the retelling of like, or like just the movie. I had that fucking comic. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just New Hope in comic form. It was one of those reprints. It wasn't. That's not valuable. Don't worry.
I have a really cool like comic reprint. Like it's right here. But I have a really cool Alien. Just because we were just talking
Oh,
about
hell yeah.
Ooh, oh shit.
with Archie Goodwin and Walter Simonson, who like
Oh, that's
it's-
awesome.
No,
What the fuck?
that's pretty rad though. Simonson's the shit.
yeah, dude,
Oh, that was
it's
dope.
it's gorgeous. Like I'm just gonna open random pages here and see what pops up. But oh,
Ooh,
look at
Chest Burster.
that. That's awesome. Ooh,
I used to read the old Predator comics a lot.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What's your reading pile, Ben? What's your
I still get some weeklies. I'm trying to like wean myself down off of them, but I do still read some. I haven't read yet. Absolute Wonder Woman. I did get that, so that's like on top of my
We'll check that one out.
reading pile. A few Batman books. I'm like, so much fucking Batman though. Like it's crazy how they decide to just like put out like every version of Batman they could possibly think of.
How can he be at so
I
many
just read
places
that-
at once?
But I'm also trying to catch up on like indie stuff that I have. Like, what's it called, Eric? The fantasy book. What is that?
Oh,
called?
Sidequesters.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through that, which is like a thick book I'm reading from a guy I met in Houston who's real
Dan Wolf.
nice, cool. Dan Wolf, yeah. So shout out to Dan.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, actually, I just read that Batman Universe book with Nick Darrington and Brian.
Oh, one of my
yeah.
fucking all-time
Those are
favorite
so
Batman books.
good,
Dude.
man.
The
Oh
Tom
my
King one was
God.
great, and it just took me forever to pick up this one. But I read it like in 2 sittings.
Yeah.
It was so much
Yeah.
Batman.
Those-
That is like you could hand that to someone and just be like, "This is Batman." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands
Like,
down. I love
Nick
it.
Darrington is just is
Such a
love
sweet
that.
man.
I love him.
The movement, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that hardcover.
Everything he does, he's just and dude, he hangs out with Michael Allred all the time, just on the couch.
Yeah.
Batman
Oh,
universe.
so sick. So sick.
So
Love
good.
it. I also like so I was
wanna read
behind.
this now.
I was like really behind on my Goodreads.
Oh, it's like one of my favorite like spread in that fucking.
Oh
book.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
the
man, it's so
Nightwing story.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I was
Hell
like
yeah.
super behind on my my Goodreads list, so I had to like catch up real fast. And like Fight Club was like free on Audible, and then I had like 3 days to listen to it. And it's such a quick book. I like blasted through it, and I was like, oh wow, I forgot there's like comics too. So I read like the 2 volumes of the Fight Club comics,
Oh
Fight
shit.
Club 2 and Fight Club 3. And dude, honestly, like, who's the artist? Cameron Stewart is the artist. Amazing art, super dope, super fun, super creative. Like you would have like pills, like pills.
Yeah.
That look like there was actually on them and like on the paper and everything. So super fun, cool stuff like that. But this honestly, I didn't fucking dig it at all. I know I didn't dig it because I read them both in like a sitting each, and like they're like 10 issues each, and they're just not.
No,
Damn.
they're not great. They're not
Oh.
that great, to be honest. But like the art is amazing, and I actually do have a free comic book day issue of Fight Club 2 signed by Chuck Palahniuk.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's like,
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
I
I want it, so I'm like, I'm gonna keep that forever.
And I'm also I just have an Audible shout out. I'm doing the fucking Brandon Sanderson books. So I'm on the Way of Kings, the Stormlight Archive. So
Oh shit!
any
Okay,
nerds out there. Yeah,
that's a hefty undertaking.
a hefty undertaking. Yeah. See if I could wrap all 3 up by the end of the year. 4.
I was also reading the new Ninja Turtles since we were talking about that. I've been reading that. I haven't read the 3rd one yet, but the first 2 I enjoyed quite a bit. The 3rd one has some fantastic looking art, so I'm excited. It's Cliff Chang, I think.
Yeah, I saw that he started doing the art for that. His art is incredible.
Nice.
Yeah, that Catwoman book that he did was.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that one yet. I want to read it though. I learned up from him from Paper Girls. Paper Girls.
Oh yeah, Paper Girls.
Okay,
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Hardcover.
And like lastly, which will be a good transition to Eric, Department of Truth, like is one of my favorite comics out there.
Yeah. I just got this. It's still in plastic. It's still in plastic.
Well, take the plastic off and read it.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Once you do, you release an unspeakable evil, though.
I know that's
It's
I
gonna
need.
be-
I know the midget.
Touche. Hey.
I mean, Department of Truth is on my reading list. I just finished The Butcher's Boy, which is a Dark Horse comic by Landry Q. Walker. Pretty fun little horror, like 4-issue horror story that was very unique and
I like Dark
original.
Horse, man.
Yeah, they put out some good stuff.
Like a nice little tight 4-issue miniseries. Okay.
Yeah, they I feel like they're gonna make a name for themselves. I don't know. But that and just a bunch of like indie stuff. I'm so far behind on reading comics. It feels like I don't know. I'm just like so backed up. I don't even know when to read at this point.
When?
You're to the point. You're at the point where it's so overwhelming you can't even read anything.
Function. Yeah.
But I have been listening to like an audiobook as well. Killing Commendatory by Haruki Murakami.
Oh, dude, Murakami's one of my favorite writers fucking ever, dude. I've read.
Yeah.
I typically try to read a book a year by Murakami because I love him so much.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, the that Killing Commendatory is pretty freaking great.
How far are you in it?
About 3/4.
Okay, so that's the book I started reading this year, and I just got everything. Life happened, and I didn't pick it back up. But like he knows who the guy is. Was it a painting that he wants me to do? Yeah, he's a
yeah. He's a portrait artist.
Yeah, I'm still in the very beginning, but he's like he just met the guy for the first time, and so it's literally right after that first meeting, like maybe a chapter or two after. That's how far behind I am.
And then that's just weaves forever, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening in this book? It's
I don't like it. Don't use the term weave. I don't associate it with good things anymore.
It just it goes pretty much everywhere that you could possibly think.
It feels very David Lynch sometimes, like the way he writes and takes you places. Like
yes, and sort of like the eerie feel that he puts within like just like everyday monotony.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I'm spacing everything out right now, but 1Q84, phenomenal read. If you guys,
what is this book called?
Killing Commendatory.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll flash it right here.
Free promotion.
Yeah, Murakami. I recommend Murakami to everybody. Wind Up Bird Chronicle.
Interesting.
Was it End of the World? Hard Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World. That's another great. That's one of the ones that got me into them. 1Q84 is insane and phenomenal. And then Norwegian Wood is really good. And I think After Dark is the only one I've read by him. Yeah, I love Murakami so much. So much. Yeah.
I'm stoked. This is like my first dip into his work, and
that's incredible.
Love it. Well, I mean, speaking of work, we actually are wrapping up this like episode with one more small discussion. It's Halloween. It's actually the Hallows of Days of Eve of Day of Ween, and our birthday. And actually, the first episode we ever did in the Policy Comics, we talked about a bunch of like our favorite horror comics. But like, you know, I've read so many horror comics since then. I feel like my list is almost the same. Like, those books were so top pick. But like, what are some of your guys' favorite horror picks in comics, movies, DVDs? Like, what are you guys venturing into in that sense?
I'll just give a shout out to The Innkeepers. That is one of my favorite horror movies by Ty West. It's a little story of like some paranormal investigation that's happening in a hotel. Perfect setup for a horror movie. Available on Tubi.
It's available on Tubi.
Flash.
All right.
Ben, what are some of your horror picks for this year?
For this year, I mean, I think I'm gonna watch The Thing this year because I didn't watch it last year.
Such a good
I
pick.
watched Alien last year, and those are like two of my favorite horror movies right there. But something just like off the cuff, I watched the other day, like unexpectedly, and then kind of got sucked into was John Carpenter's Vampires. I hadn't seen that in many a day.
Oh, I haven't seen that before. How is it?
It's not great, but I was entertained.
There you go. Yeah.
James Woods is just like at moments you're like, I don't buy this at all.
Amazing.
But he's like going for it. So I'm like, you know what? Credit to you, Mr. Woods.
He's trying.
You're trying. You're giving me everything. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for from Nicolas Cage, and he gives it to me every time. But it's like John Carpenter stuff always has like this like edge to it that like is appealing to me. Something about the way he makes movies.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah, whenever I put on a random movie or something comes on and it says John Carpenter, I'm like, oh, I'm in safe hands at least. You know what I mean? At least like I'm either gonna enjoy it enough to get a chuckle or I might be a little scared. Like there's like almost no in between. Like
or it's Ghosts of Mars. But I don't think like I have anything super Halloween-y that I was broaching.
Yeah, actually, I would say that's what I was gonna say too. We were watching so many Batman movies because they were all like none of them are streaming right now on like Max, which is bullshit. But like most
the Batman takes place at Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good Halloween pick for anybody at that point.
I really like that.
Wise,
that movie's
I don't
good.
even know what comic. I mean, Gideon Falls. I remember was a pretty eerie book.
No, Gideon Falls. Yeah,
that was.
I've only read volume 1, but I really liked it.
But I have like the hardcover volume 1, so I guess it's the first like 2 or 3 volumes.
I did finish it, and like that was gonna be my pick for this segment because in terms of a comic, because I was just like that was one of the first comics that like actually like scared me, like just even reading it. Where it's not like the biggest spoiler, but it was something just in terms of the lettering alone on a certain page got me. Right? I was like, just made me like uncomfortable. I was like, oh god. So that was gonna be my pick for sure. And in terms of a movie, like I will always defend the Blair Witch Project. Like that movie terrifies me to my fucking core. Yeah. Like I'm
a found footage fan.
Yeah, I just have such an innate fear of being lost, and so seeing that movie freaks me the fuck out. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I would do in that situation. So that would be my movie.
That movie scared the shit out of me. And really cool, like Eric and I can remember this because we're old, but like the type of like early internet marketing they did for that movie was fucking amazing.
Oh,
yeah. I learned a lot.
It made you believe.
That. Yeah,
blurred the lines of reality and the actual cinematic experience.
Like, they really used the early internet to its advantage because it was still just like a collection of people that made HTML sites.
Didn't the movie not have a trailer too, or that they put in theaters? Like it was all just word of mouth.
Yeah, even if there was a trailer, it came out after the fact that the film was like built up and built its following. Because I think it was like either a Sundance Film Festival that it premiered at. That like it really just people were like, okay, this is the next.
But they put out like missing persons flyers with all those actual people's names on them and shit. Crazy. But yeah, excellent pick. Excellent pick. But the same thing you said about Gideon Falls, I could say of Witches as a comic.
Witches, one of my favorites. Yeah, that's like almost a year. You know what's actually
like, it's
great?
legitimately fucking freaked me out reading a comic. Yeah. Like, holy shit! And Eric's gonna read it soon.
One of my favorite Halloween picks, and I think I didn't read it at the time we did the first episode, but I read it and I fell in absolute love with it. But the Sabrina comics. The darker.
Yeah.
Have you guys read those?
I haven't.
No, I'd like to.
Top tier. Although it like ends on issue 8, and then like issue 9 took like 10 years to come out. I never read issue 9 yet, but apparently the series still isn't done, which is kind of disappointing. So it leaves you on a big cliffhanger, but it's like still 100% worth it for the story and the art alone, and like it's very just compelling. It's fucking. It's sad. Apparently the show was based a lot on it too, but like went on longer.
The new show, of course.
Yeah.
I put that as like a possibility to mention in like the news was that Cullen Bunn is going to be doing a new series spinning out of that, The 9 Lives of Salem. I was like, I love cats, obviously, so I'm like, I'm into that. Mm-hmm. I like Cullen Bunn typically, like mostly his like creator-owned stuff is generally what I enjoy.
Super good. There's some good like Carnage stuff too. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my last like Halloween thing was that we've been doing a lot of Stephen King movies for some reason this year. So we did It Part 1. It fucking scares me. I can't handle that shit. Like it makes me feel gross, like and eerie. But
another
Stephen
thing that
King,
scared the shit out of me.
What else did we do? We did the new
original with Tim Curry, by the way.
Yeah, that one was terrifying. We watched Red State. It's not a horror movie, but it's fucking scary either way. Like,
it's Kevin Smith's horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then I've been reading Constantine like crazy. I'm trying to read all of Constantine, so I'm on issue 76.
That's
honestly,
yeah,
it's kind of the same flavor for like 75 issues. I'm not gonna lie. Like, like Garth Ennis takes it on, and it feels like Garth Ennis writing Constantine, like you would read Preacher, but like not as good. And it's all right. I'm not gonna lie. I want it to get like better,
more out of it.
Yeah, but I'm in it for the long haul, so I've already committed. I'm on volume 8, I guess now. Yeah,
nice.
But yeah, I think that's it. This is the Apollo City Comics. We're just gonna talk about shit and talk about something random every episode and give you guys cool suggestions and updates and talk about our comics, and we'll probably make a little ad to promote our comics and do comic-y stuff. But we're just gonna do this every so while and give you guys cool updates. And you know what? You should check out our website. And you should check out the Remainders Kickstarter, and you should pre-save the horror anthology and so many links to catch them at the right time too. And check out Comics Wellspring and Inspired Ink and all these projects that all of us do, from every single one of us, and all the other Apollo people you could follow and check out. We'll link everything eventually. We'll bring people on whenever it's fun. So many links. That's why we just made one link tree, so you have all the links in one right here. Yep. I love it. And go, you know what? Yeah, it's October 31st.
Go
vote. Go vote, please. No excuse. Come on, figure it out. Get it going.
Especially if you're in that state that has that really fucking badass sticker of the wolf ripping his shirt, of the I voted sticker. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
It's like they did like those like the contest they did of like kids that design. I voted. One of them in like Michigan or some shit is like a werewolf ripping his fucking shirt off, and it says "I voted." Amazing.
I wonder what Virginia's
like,
gonna get.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
El Paso always gave me like a little cactus or something in those.
I'll commit voter fraud and get 2 of those. Sorry.
The show just goes crazy now. Like,
I'll do 1 each. It'll cancel it out.
And then just after for the stickers too. So
then you go a third time to make up for the vote that you actually wanted to vote. 3 times.
If you do a name change, can you do another vote under your new name?
Yeah.
Senior, junior.
We're getting into some dangerous territory. Let's. I'm sorry, I brought us here. Yes, vote. Definitely vote.
And thanks for hanging.
Thank you.
Word.